Thanks Vicky, and thanks to the organisers of the festival for giving us the opportunity to speak at the birthplace of trade unionism about the future of trade unionism. What I want to do is just address three quick things during my contribution. First of all, just to talk a little bit about where we are in terms of trade union membership in this country today. Secondly, to talk about what's happened over the last 10 years, the work that unions have done to go out and try and recruit and organise the next generation of union members. And then thirdly, to throw in some ideas about what more we could do, what more we need to do to reach out to those 19 million, 20 million people out there who aren't members of a union. Hopefully that will lead us into the discussion and the debate. They're the three things I want to cover, but before I talk about the substance of what I want to cover, I just want to try and set my remarks into some sort of context, because quite often, I think Elaine drew this out, when we talk about union organising, we talk about membership figures, or we talk about density, or we talk about numbers of new agreements, and they're all very important things. But organising isn't an end in itself, it's a means. It's a means for us to be able to represent our members and their families more effectively in the workplace and beyond. And I think when we're having a discussion about union organising, we're having a discussion about building stronger unions. Effectively what we're doing is having a discussion about the sort of society and the sort of world that we want to live in and that we want to bring our kids up in. I'm lucky enough to have 3 small children who all sat down in front there. And like every father, like every parent, you worry about your kids, you worry about the schools they go to, you worry about them being safe and secure, you worry about them growing up. But you worry about the sort of society that you're bringing your kids into as well, and the sort of world that we're constructing. And I think this whole debate about union organising speaks to that question as well. We know from around the world that where unions are weak, inequality grows. We know from around the world that where unions are weak, democracy either doesn't exist or is diminished. And we know from around the world that where unions are weak, competition and not cooperation governs the way that people live and work together. And that's not the sort of society that I want to live in, and it's not the sort of society I think that most of us want to live in and bring our kids up in either. So organising is not just about figures and density and numbers and new agreements, it's about the sort of world that we want to construct and the sort of relationships that we want to have with each other.